Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome along to the SFC interviews here with Sam Mcmahon. We're also joined by Jamie today as well. So, how you doing, fellas? You okay?
Yeah, well, good, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Yeah, just seeing how it goes and everything. Yeah, it's good.
Okay, that's excellent. Then. So let's go on with the first couple of questions I've got here. So, Sam, what made you join up with Stevenage in the first place?
I'd left Leicester, had half a season at Cambridge. Didn't work out particularly well there, and had a couple of options. And Richard Hill came, had a chat with me, and I was that was my decision made. Really, it was really positive. Probably the first time in my sort of early career anyone had really looked at me as a sort of key player and said he was going to sort of try and build around it. I was happy with what I heard. Came down to see the club. Fantastic setup, fantastic stadium. Chairman was a good guy. So yeah, it was a fairly easy decision, to be honest.
Okay, that's good to know. Really, it's nice and easy when it just sort of settles. Yeah, you sort of just turn up straight away, and you know you want to sign there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I went to a couple of other clubs. I went to have a look at Nathan, and it was nowhere near in terms of the sort of infrastructure and like I say, the stadium. It was a sort of League One ground really in the conference. The way it was set up, it was a lovely place. So yeah, it was no real difficulty in the decision.
Yeah, it sort of settles any nerves that you might have had and stuff as well. So yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I was sort of knocking on a little bit in terms of a footballer, sort of getting 23, 24, whatever. So I'd been about a while. It was just nice to get in somewhere where I could act and play without feeling sort of too much pressure in terms of my career and judgment and things like that, which was definitely the case at sort of Leicester and Cambridge.
All right. So second of all, you scored your first goal for the club against Kettering in a 3-0. What was that like?
It was a nice goal, to be fair. Early, yeah. Little flick up and a volley for top bag, far corner, yeah. We were in the middle of a great run as well. It was really enjoyable starting the season. I'd not played in the conference for a little while. I played on loan at Catch a few years before, but sort of going in, and I know Stevenage have been up and down. Yeah. To start that season and be flying at the top of the league, and really, really enjoyed that period. That was nice to get on the score sheet, that one. I think we had a decent crowd in, probably 2,500, 3,000 in. It was it was a cracking start to the season.
And then there was 6 games unbeaten at the start of the season as well?
Yeah, I think we went 6. I think lost to Kidderminster, who eventually went on to win it, I think.
Yeah.
Then won another couple. I remember winning away at Hereford. I think 8 out of 9 we won, didn't we? Top of the league.
Like that. Yeah, at the beginning of the season. Yeah.
Yeah. And then all went horribly wrong for me personally at Hereford anyway, but yeah.
All right. Jamie, you got anything you want to ask him there?
Yeah. What would you say was the most enjoyable game for Stevenage during your time there?
My most enjoyable was trophy semi-final away leg. Well, both legs, to be honest. But particularly, I think that away leg when we beat Morecambe 2-1 up there was a great performance. And then obviously we came back and sort of finished the job off. But they were my favourite 2 games, I think. And it was a very rare occurrence, but got a goal in both of them, so made it a bit more enjoyable.
And then obviously you missed out on the final. Was that through injury or?
Yeah, I mean, because I think you actually missed out on the trophy final as well.
Yeah, I missed out on the trophy final. No, it wasn't injury. I inexplicably got myself sent off. And I've got to say, it's the most devastated I've ever been on a football pitch, or probably off it, to be honest. I was absolutely gutted. We obviously won the semi, second leg.
Yeah.
And then we played a team from up north on the Monday night. Nothing game. The league was dead. Mm-hmm. We put, I think, 5 of us on the bench, and I think 1-0 down at half time. So we threw 3 of us on. Like I said, nothing game. About 5 minutes to go. I just absolutely snapped someone's kneecap for no reason at all. There was no, I don't know, there was no sort of aggro in the game. It was just one of those sort of moments where I didn't even lose my head. It was just a really ridiculous challenge. Got the straight red. I can remember Jude Sterling punching somebody after it. He got a straight red, came in the changing rooms and got me in a headlock because he was blaming me for his red card, and we both missed the final. We got a 3-game ban.
Yeah.
And the ban kicked in the day before the final.
I remember Jude as well. Jude and his massive long throws.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. He was very upset. Came in. I was obviously devastated. About a minute later, he's come storming in. Yes, decided to throw me in a headlock, and I think one of the coaching staff came in and split it up. But it's I can laugh about it now, but at the time I was absolutely gutted.
So we've got a question here from Radio Russ. What was the best goal you scored in your career in general?
I didn't score too many, to be honest. I got one at Leicester in the Championship, which, fond memories, came on at Port Vale. So that was obviously a real highlight. But again, I think the one in the trophy final at home, good sort of 25-yard strike when we were under the cosh a little bit. I think we came out second half and scored fairly early, and it settled everything down. But that was as clean a strike as I've hit, I think, and it was an important game. So that would certainly be in the top 2 or 3.
So you played a big part in keeping the club up in the conference as well. How big a relief was that upon securing the survival at the end of that season?
The Wesley season.
Yeah, when he first come in, because you were there for the first part of that season, weren't you? And then he let you go.
Yeah, it was sort of mixed emotions for me. Obviously, when he came in, he bought his 8 or 9 players, which was needed. I'm not going to debate that, but we had some good footballers already at the club. Yeah, he came in, basically cleared the decks, bought his 8 or 9 in. They were starting. Like myself, I've been playing all season, and granted, we hadn't had a good season, so I was left out for a little bit. Managed to get back in the team, I think, for 4 games of the Easter period. And I think we did go on a run. I think we won sort of probably 15 on the trot. Yeah. But then I snapped my cruciate on a Sunday, Easter Sunday, I think it was, I played on the Saturday. I think we beat Dagenham, who were top. Mm-hmm. And I think we beat him 2-0 at home. Right. And then, he got us in training on the Sunday with a game on the Monday, and snapped my cruciate. So I didn't see the end of that season out, and that was the end of it for me at Stevenage. So it was quite bitter, really, in the end. But obviously, massively relieved, disappointed that we'd sort of put ourselves in that position, and Wayne Turner had got the boot, because I really liked him as a person and a coach. Mm-hmm. So we sort of let ourselves down a little bit, but it was a bit of a transitional period for us. So there were players sort of part-time, there were players semi-part-time coming in a day a week, then Wesley's come in off the squad full-time on massive money. Our lads are part-time. It was a bit of a mess, but obviously he came in and turned things around. So, sort of played him on that front, but it was a little bit better for me at the end of that season and the sort of start of the next one. But yeah, I was pleased for the club, and pleased for obviously the lads and the fans and everybody else that they managed to get out of it, and then sort of went from strength to strength from there, really. Yeah, so you just spoke about the fans there briefly as well. You were loved by the Stevenage fans for being a very passionate, hard-working, tenacious, tough tackling player. Would always give 100%. What was your relationship like with the fans? And Jamie is having connection issues there, but we were speaking about it last night, well, into the early hours this morning, in fact, about your song, and it's still one of my favourite songs at Stevenage. Yeah. You're not going to sing it, are you? I haven't got a singing voice, mate, no. Good. I loved it there. Absolutely loved Stevenage. I felt really appreciated. Like I said, from the minute I walked in, I think the fact I started really well that first season. The team played really well for the period. Obviously, I got injured, but I felt they were always behind me. Like I said, the chairman was good. When I did my cruciate the first time, he came and gave me a new contract while I was injured. A lot of clubs at that level certainly wouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. And I felt all around, really. The fans, the staff, I felt really appreciated, and I did. I gave as much as I could. When I first came in, I was not far off coming from a Premier League club, so I was fitter than a lot at that level.
Yeah,
which helped. I came in and felt really good. I felt sort of like I could play sort of above that level, or certainly very well at that level. And there were periods where I was recovering from. I had 3 real serious injuries at Stevenage.
yeah.
Both cruciates, and I ruptured a hamstring as well. So
That's right. Yeah.
I probably spent, out of the 4 years I was there, 2 years injured. But I never felt an outcast. I always felt like they wanted me to get back, and when I did, they gave me a bit of time to recover. There was periods where I wasn't at my best, and I was, it takes a while to get over an injury like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I never felt they got on me back. They were always supportive, and like I said, I gave as much as I could, and I think they appreciated that, and I certainly appreciated them.
And then in terms of just going back to the fans again as well, how did you feel sort of seeing the fans with a bucket collection for your injury?
Again, it sort of goes back to Wesley, to be honest. You maybe gather I don't like the guy, but I ruptured my cruciate. I was on a part-time contract where, like I say, there were players there on full-time contracts on thousands of pounds a week.
Yeah.
I'd not long had twin, very young children at home. I had to get the cruciate repaired.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't work. I'd normally work over the summer, go and do some coaching, keep myself ticking over.
Yeah.
Couldn't do any work. So I went to Wesley and said, look, I need some payment or part over the summer just to keep me going. I didn't earn big money at Stevenage.
Mm-hmm.
It was a living wage, basically. So
yeah.
I've got to be honest, I was incredibly appreciative of fans for doing it, but I was a little embarrassed and disappointed in him for that being his answer, knowing the amount of money that was floating about at the club. It wouldn't have been a big ask for him to give me half wages or just give me a little bit of a signing on advance or anything, just to help me out and support me. And I think asking the fans to do it and taking that flag round, I found it excruciatingly embarrassing. On the other side, I was incredibly grateful. So it's sort of double-edged sword, really, for me, that was.
All right, fair enough. In terms of working at Stevenage, you were, what was it, under 5 different managers? So what was that like, being under so many different managers and not really knowing, an awful lot about who's going to be there 1 minute?
Fortunately, the first 3 all, I think, felt fairly similar about myself and about the way they wanted to play.
Yeah.
So Hilly, I really liked. Came in, he was full of enthusiasm. Training was enjoyable. It was a good place to be. There was a good atmosphere about the place. So I enjoyed it under Hilly. Wayne Turner came in. Or was it Fairclough between? I'm not sure what the order was. But I liked Wayne as well. Liked to play football. Had a good idea of how he wanted to play. Didn't quite work out in the end for him, but obviously got the trophy final and stuff in there. Paul, I got on really well with. Clear the way he wanted to play again.
Yeah.
So I never had an issue with any of them, really.
And then there was the 5th one in there was Stevie Wigner, wasn't it?
Yes, very briefly, but I was still injured, so I didn't play under him. So I really have a lot to do with him. And then Graham Wesley, I despise, to be honest, but there you go.
Fair enough.
The other 3 I really liked as people and coaches.
Okay. So yeah, you played for Leicester in the 90s. What were the main differences in the level of football when you obviously moved down to the lower league, to the conference, to playing, sort of championship, to sort of on the verge of Premiership with Leicester?
To be honest, at Leicester, I've only played sort of 4 or 5 times. I think I only started 1 championship game. I went on loan to Kettering a couple of times while I was at Leicester, so I had an idea of conference. When I first went into the conference, it was still, you could see it was part-time football, really, when I'd got to Stevenage, and certainly the year we were struggling, it was noticeable that the sides had gone full time. So half the league was full time. We were still part time, along with a few others, and there was a massive gulf. So that was the big difference. It was the part time to full time. Certainly initially when I went in.
Yeah.
Whatever level you're playing at, it's back then. It was a hard, aggressive game. Certainly in the conference, if you couldn't look after yourself, then forget it.
Mm-hmm.
But I did find, if you could look after yourself and you could play a bit, you could be very effective in the conference. Personally, what probably let me down at Leicester was sort of a bit of pace and maybe a bit of athleticism. Really, I wasn't quick enough to play at that level. Technically, I was okay, certainly around those sort of players, certainly in training and stuff. But yeah, as an athlete, I wasn't. When you're looking at Patrick Vieira and Roy Keane playing opposite you, it's not easy.
I think Jamie's back. You back now, Jamie? You sorted your issues out?
I think I sorted it. Yeah. I think I reset the rotor. That's one thing about living in Peterborough. The connection's quite poor around here sometimes. So,
Okay, no worries. No, that's fine. Have you got anything you want to ask Sam again whilst we're at the minute?
Who would you say the best player you played with at the time at Stevenage? I mean, you was there for maybe 5, 6, 7 years. From
no, it's four and a bit. I mean, probably the best and most consistent over the time was Mark Smith. I thought when I went in, I knew lads that had played for Stevenage and told me what sort of a player he was, and he was just quality. Made the game look easy, and someone that had played pretty much around that level the whole of his career. Yeah, I thought he was outstanding. And there was some when I first went in, big Carl Alford, great goal scorer. Certainly that first season. Yeah, quality.
Scored against in the trophy final as well.
That's right, yeah.
Yes. Unforgivable. A.D. Clark, good footballer. Obviously, George Boyd, people like that. I mean, my favourite players to play alongside was Matt Fisher. Still a good mate of mine. Good mate of mine. If you want somebody in the trenches with you, he's your man. So, yeah.
I remember Matt. I think was he a little bit of a naughty boy? Did he have to play on tag for a couple of games?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He was a Marine when he was younger. Came out absolute nails, to be honest. He's a hard man. Really good guy. Really lovely guy. Intelligent guy as well. But I think he had a bust up one night and spent a bit of time at Her Majesty's service and played on tag for first couple of months. But
that's what I remember.
Yeah, we got on really well. We travelled down together as well. He was Mansfield, I was Leicester, so we used to share the car along with Kirk Jackson and Simon Travis, people like that. So we had a good car school. I think I bought my mum's old Cortina or something. We used to drive that up and down.
Oh, nice. And in that side, in the 1999 side as well, you mentioned Mark, and Cole. Ryan was in there. Ryan Kirby was in there. Trotty was in there.
Yeah, Trotty was there. Trotty, top man as well, yeah.
Michael Kirby, Love at left back as well.
Say that again.
Michael Love at left back.
Yeah, Lovey. Was it Lee Harvey, right back?
Yeah.
Yeah, had some good lads, some good players down there. Yeah, some good quality.
This is new. We've got somebody listening in from South California. How are you doing? You okay? It's the first international one that we've had after, this is the 11th one of doing these now. So how you doing, Debbie? So what are your thoughts on the sort of current situation at Stevenage, if you know too much about it?
I've kept an eye on it without too much detail, really. They seem to have had numerous managers in and out, gone for a couple of big names. Always seem to go back to Wesley when they're in sort of dire need, which clearly hasn't worked out this time. Yeah, it's disappointing, really. To be honest, the way I left, I didn't come back until the Sheffield United game. I don't know whether it was a playoff game. And that was the first time I've been back to the club since. Because basically when I left, I was told to get me boots and get out and never come back. So I wasn't overly welcome.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, it was not a nice way to leave, but that was the only one I've been back to. It was good. It was good to come back down. It was impressive seeing them at that level, and the amount of people in the ground. But yeah, it's disappointing that they've sort of slipped. But at the end of the day, the size of the club, they're always going to be under pressure. I think they're overachieving, getting to that level. If they can sustain league status, then I think they're doing fairly well for the size of club they are.
That's fair enough. So in terms of the situation, do you think there's still a chance they might be able to survive with everything that's gone on at Macclesfield, or do you think they are pretty much down now and just got to focus on sort of getting prepared for conference level next season?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's up in the air a little bit, isn't it? And potentially clubs could go into administration. Clubs could be sent down a level. So I think there's still a possibility for them. They've got to think, worst case scenario really, and start preparing for conference. But I think there's a lot going to happen over the next couple of months in terms of sort of lower level clubs, and certainly non-league clubs. You'll see some going out of business, unfortunately, I would have thought. So it might leave the door open, hopefully.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on the games taking place behind closed doors at the moment?
It's better than nothing, but I'm not a fan at all. I can't watch it, to be honest. I'm not. At heart, I'm a Forest fan, so I've watched a couple of their games, and we've actually won a few and doing all right. So yeah, I've been watching Forest when they've been on, but I'm not overly interested in the Prem, and there's not a lot to play for, and a Forest fan living in Leicester, so it doesn't go down too well.
That's right. You're living, and are you working in Leicester as well? Are you coaching in Leicester?
Yeah, I work at a school. I teach at a school and manage a sort of football facility attached to the school. So yeah, I've been there 12 years now. So nice job, and still sort of linked with the football. So yeah, it's good. Unfortunately, it's right in the middle of this new lockdown though. So
yeah.
But I say unfortunately, I'm at home. So yeah.
Fair enough. You're safe and you're well. So there you go. In terms of any advice to up and coming players or coaches, what would you sort of say to them?
Say that again. You were breaking up a little bit.
Oh, sorry. In terms of any advice to up and coming players or coaches, what would you say to them?
To players, I think it's if you've got the ability, just really focus all your efforts onto that at a young age. I think certainly when I was playing, it was slightly different culturally, but certainly at Leicester there was a social culture. If I could turn my time back now, I would have just given everything to be a top level player. I did. I worked hard at it, but I could have done more. I could have, maybe worked on aspects of my game that were slightly weaker, which I was aware of. Spent less time sort of going out, more time in working. So that'd be my advice, really. If you've got the ability, don't waste it, because it's a short window of opportunity, and it's a long time after you've finished to do everything you want to do. So I'd just try and avoid those distractions, and I certainly would have done that if I had my time again.
Okay, and what about on the coaching side? What about if somebody's looking to get into coaching and maybe coaching sort of young children or teens?
Yeah, we do a lot of work at our place. We sort of coach education. There's a lot of support and pass through with it now. Again, if it's something you want to pursue, I know coaches that have basically not particularly good footballers, but have just said, right, this is the route I want to go down. Level 1, 2, 3, A licenses, and they're making a living out of it now. It's just dedicating yourself to something if that's the route you want to go down. I know a lot of people that will just pick up a level 1 or 2 and coach the kids' teams, or do it for a bit of fun, which is fine. If you really want to sort of pursue a career in it and get into a pro club, if you're not a sort of established name, then you've really got to graft and work hard and get up to that level.
Fair enough. So in terms of where you're working at the moment, are you still doing the football development? Is that what you're doing, football development officer?
Yeah, I sort of manage the facility really. So it's more just facilitating people that want to use it. We've got 2 3G pitches and 15 grass pitches up there, so it's a nice setup. Incredibly busy, and it's good. We have maybe a couple of thousand people through a week. So it's a well-used facility. It's a nice place to work, and yeah, it keeps me busy. It's a 7-day-a-week thing, but I sort of thoroughly enjoy going up there, and yeah, we've got a really nice environment to work in. So that's what I do, and then I do a bit of PE teaching during the week for the school. So
Okay,
yeah, it's pretty full on, but it's
that's good then. When you moved on to go to Burton from Stevenage, was that a hard decision at all? Obviously, you mentioned about things happening with Graham, but how was that for you personally? Was it difficult?
Yeah, it wasn't my decision at all. I was just told to leave. So I was absolutely gutted. And the issue for me was I was 3 months into another cruise ship rehab.
Yeah.
And I wasn't getting particularly good physiotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a bit of a mess in terms of the rehab. So I was, like I say, I was basically told to get my boots, put them in a black bag, got in the car, and that was it. And never went back. So got in touch with, I think Cluffy gave me a call. Went up there, played okay once I'd sort of got myself fit, but I was nowhere near the sort of level I wanted to be at because I was rehabbing the cruise ship. So it was a difficult period, to be honest. I had sort of 4 or 5 months there. I was in and out, some decent bits, some average bits. Got to the end of the season, and I hadn't done enough really to justify them. I think they're on quite a tight budget anyway, so they couldn't justify giving me a contract, which I could understand. There was no sort of hard feelings on that part. Then I moved on to Hinckley at the end of that start of the next season.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, it was not a nice way to leave. Not a nice way to leave. I was, after the time I'd spent there and the sort of relationship I had with the club and the fans.
Yeah,
it was pretty tough to take, but that's football.
Fair enough. So when you signed for Stevenage in the first place, did you feel you would get any sort of backlash at all from the Cambridge fans? Because obviously, the two teams being rivals and that.
No. I was a bit of a non-entity there, to be honest.
Not something that really bothers you, yeah.
They were. Say that again.
I was just saying, is that something that doesn't really bother you that much anyway?
No. Like I said, I didn't do enough at Cambridge really to be any sort of factor there. They had a good side, to be honest. I think they won League 2 the year I was there. Played a couple of games, but again, got to the end of the season and not had an opportunity really to sort of earn a contract. So yeah, there was nothing. Leaving there was just get out and get onto something more positive and get playing somewhere. So yeah, they weren't interested, and neither was I, to be honest. It was fine.
Fair enough. Is there anything from you there, Jamie?
I would say, who was your joker of the group? Like, who's the one who could really sort of pick the team up? If you've had a bad run of form, or just be someone's shoulder to lean on, basically.
I think the guys you're looking at, people like probably Nathan Bunce was a good leader, good guy, real solid. Trotty was great in the change room and on the pitch. Jason Goodliff was again good skipper, good leader.
Yeah.
There was characters about. People like who else was Jean-Michel Sigier, Darren A. Daz A was the one, yeah. If I was going to pick anybody, he was good. He was a leader. He'd get everyone going. He was, like I say, on and off the pitch, always full of life, good character, good to have in the team in the dressing room.
And then I was looking at some of the other games that you were involved in as well. Not necessarily league games or anything like that, but you were featured in the game against Spurs for the 25th anniversary, and you also played in the game against Trinidad as well. What was that like, playing in the game against an international side with Trinidad?
Yeah, we had some great pre-season friendlies. They do stand out. I remember the Spurs game. I think Gus Poyet, I was playing pretty much up against him, and I think he got 3 in about 10 minutes. But it was a real eye opener. Some of those games. I know I'd played in and around that level, but it's sort of gone on with all the international players coming in. And when you're playing against, I remember Di Canio, I think I was skipper when we played West Ham, and so was he. He was just incredible, just playing up against these people. You just you can't get anywhere near him. And I remember Poyet was outstanding that day, like I say. And we had some good ones. We had Villa down.
That's right. Yeah,
I think the Arsenal game when they bought the whole lot. I think I was injured for that, but that was a good watch. I think Thierry Henry got 3.5 hours, then walked off the pitch.
I think that was about right. I think he got 3, Carnu got 3, and I can't even remember who scored the other goal. But yeah, I was speaking to Darren Hay about that not long ago, the other week. So, and Neil Illman as well.
Yeah,
I spoke to both of them about it. But yeah, the Trinidad game. What was that like, having Trinidad and Tobago come down?
When was that? That's not one in the memory banks. That what year?
Yeah, you definitely played. It was. I looked it up. It was 9. Was it 2000 and? Hold on. I'll see if I wrote the year down. Give us a sec, Sam. I know I wrote it down there somewhere. I don't think I actually wrote the year down though. But I know for a fact you were. I think you might have played the first half or the first part of that game. And they had Shaka Hislop in goal. Russell Lafferty scored the goal, or Lafferty, whatever his name was. And it was 1-0. I don't know if you remember it. They had the Still band playing behind where the North Stand is now.
I can't remember that at all. That's not got the best memory in the world, but no, I've got no real recollection of that at all.
You were definitely involved with it.
Must have been a thriller.
Well, it was a pre-season friendly, but yeah.
Sorry, I can't give you anything on that one.
That's all right. Yeah. So yeah, we mentioned about Spurs there, and then obviously you said you work in Leicester, but you're a Forest fan. So how was it when Leicester won the Premier League for you? Obviously, you probably had quite a lot of Leicester fans there. Where you're sort of working and stuff. Did that kind of feel a bit strange, or were you just pleased for them?
It was my worst moment in football. Just obviously surrounded by Leicester fans, and we've always had over Leicester fans as Forest fans. We've won the league, we've won the European Cup twice.
Yeah.
No matter how long ago it was, we've got that. You've got nothing. When they won the Prem, that was it. I just locked my door. It must have been. I lived not far from Victoria Park. There was probably 200,000 people down there. Shut the door. Locked myself in for 2 days. Let it pass.
Fair enough.
Absolutely. No, got no joy for them at all.
So we said about that. Yeah. So yeah, it does say you were involved in this Trinidad game, but it doesn't say what year it was or nothing. But yeah, have you got anything there, Jamie? Because I think that pretty much covers all of my questions.
Just trying to think when he was playing, because he spent most of the time suspended for us.
And
I think he got about 4 or 5 red cards.
There's a couple of reds and a couple of injuries. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got 1 or 2. Yeah. 2 weeks wages
just
on the
trying to think,
was
really.
Nice, I'll tell you that.
So what else have I got down?
Was that how it was then? Did you sort of, get every red card? Was it 2 weeks, or was it kind of gradually building up to that?
It depended what it was for. If you got 2 yellows and you got a game, I think you got a week. If you got a straight red and it was a 3 game,
Yeah.
you get 2 weeks, 2-week wage fine, which was devastating at the time. So
Especially when you
still
were
didn't stop me getting sent off every.
No, but you said you weren't on huge wages anyway, and obviously, there's going to take quite a lot out of If you're getting wages, it's going to be hard to live on.
I've only got half money this month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, it didn't stop me getting sent off every 10 games, though, or maybe every 20.
Is there anything there, Jamie, or are you all right, mate?
Trying to think. Have we covered goals? Have we covered goals, like best goals?
We haven't really said best goals. We spoke about the Kettering, his first goal for the club. And then obviously there's a few you mentioned against Morecambe. I think you scored against Barnet a couple of times. Was it Barnet?
Yeah. I think we played.
Love the goal against Southport.
New Year's Day or Boxing Day. That was a nice strike. Yeah. I'd not scored for a while. And got that one. Yeah, the one at Barnet. That was a decent game. Like I said, I think it was around Christmas time, beating 3-0, didn't we? And
that's right.
Destroyed them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that stood out. That performance, I think.
There was a couple of nice free kicks that you scored as well. I'm trying to remember whether it was. Who was it you scored that nice? It was about 25-yard free kick against. I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
The first leg at Morecambe, I got a free kick.
Yeah.
Wayne Turner special, the rehearsed free kick.
Yeah.
The tap move, whip it round the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Yeah, I must have got one or two others, but I can't remember them all. Not that there's that many, but.
Well, was centre mid always your preferred position, or because you got rotated quite a bit, didn't you? Sometimes they stick you out in the wing.
No, I always played in the middle. Always. Occasionally, if we played a 3, but if we're playing a 4, I'd always be one of the 2 in the middle. I can't remember, maybe once or twice on the right, but very rare. I was basically a central midfielder. There's no way I can play on the wing with my lack of pace.
You don't fancy yourself on the right mid or left mid then, no?
No. No. Definitely not a speedy winger.
That's fair enough. I think that's probably covered everything, really. Let me just scroll through. Let's have a look at this one, see what this was. It might just see if there was anything missing there. So you played over 100 times for the club in terms of, featuring. How many more do you reckon that would have been if you didn't get those injuries?
I think probably double that. I don't think that if I'd have been playing at the level I started before that first cruciate, I'd have played all season without a doubt. I don't think there was any doubt in that. I think the second when I got back from that, I played pretty much consistently. I obviously tore the hamstring, which kept me out for another 3 months or so.
Yeah.
Then got back in and played fairly consistently. When Wesley came in, got back in the side, started to play well again. I think played 4 or 5 there where we were winning games. Felt I was part of the side again. Mm-hmm. And then the other cruciate went. So I think you could probably double that. And I had a year left on my contract, so I would hopefully have had another season. So you're talking 5 full seasons. Maybe 180, 190 possibly.
Yeah.
But like I say, I've pretty much halved that with 3 really serious injuries, which, that's the way it goes. It was it's a shame looking back on it now, but there were really really freak injuries, to be honest. The cruciates.
Yeah, to get the 2 on the same.
The first one at Hereford, I literally just hooked a ball down the line. I can remember it clearly. Put my foot down and it just snapped. And like I say, the second one was in a training session, and that was the other one, the other side.
Yeah,
did the same, just twisted and it snapped again, or the other side snapped. So, I mean, once you've done both of them, it's very, very difficult to get back to a sort of level. the level you want to be at. So I found first one I got over well. I had Keith, was it Keith Allen?
Yeah.
Physio.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Keith? Yeah, it was absolutely outstanding. So the rehab on the first was great. He was a great bloke and really pushed me to me sort of limits to get back from that one. But the second one I didn't really have that support with it. It was a difficult rehab. So yeah, sort of finished it there. But I think certainly could have been 70 or 80 more appearances and at a sort of higher level than those periods where I was coming back from injury and maybe not 100%, but
yeah,
to get over 100, I'm happy with that. So
and you
some
were
good ones in there.
I was going to say there were some good games in there. You mentioned the trophy semi-finals and stuff. You were captain for a while as well, weren't you? Was that correct?
Yeah, the season. Yeah.
What was that like? What was
I was more than happy to do that, like leading a team. Yeah, it was good. It was good to have that responsibility. At sort of that age, I felt like one of the sort of more established players in the squad. I'd been there a little while. Felt like if I was fit, I was going to play.
Yeah.
Sort of tried to be a good leader. We had an okay season. Felt I did all right as a skipper.
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair, I think Jason came in the year after, and I think he was quite a natural born leader, really. So it was no surprise that it was passed on to Jason. I wasn't overly upset about that. I thought fair enough. Good centre half, good. Very vocal, perhaps a bit more vocal than me. So yeah. But I was really quite honoured to have it for the year. Yeah, it was good.
Fair enough. Is there anything you want to add in there, Jamie? Because that's all of mine done, so we can start to wrap up. Otherwise,
I would say if you had to pick of a team of 11, who would be included in your team?
Oof.
Of players you played with.
Right, I think I have to go. Lee Harvey, right back.
Who was in goal? Sorry, I just missed it. Was in goal there.
There we go. I'm trying to think of the keepers. Who do we have? Throw some keepers at me.
Chris Taylor. Were you there?
Paul Wilkinson.
Wilco. Yeah, Wilco. What other keepers were there? Trying to think. Yeah.
Was Westwood?
Yeah.
Was it Westhead? Mark Westhead. Was he there at one point?
Was Mark there? I can't remember, to be honest. Any of them sort of 2 or 3 stand out there or not? I can't hear you, Sam. There you go. I can hear you now. Yeah. Did any of them?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Did any of those sort of 2 or 3 keepers stand out? Or not?
I'd probably go. Yeah, I'd probably go Chrissy Taylor. I think. Yeah.
Okay, and right back was Lee. Yeah.
I'm picking these more on. Yeah, I'm going on quality and people I particularly like to play with and like to people. So I'm going to go. Yeah, Lee Harvey. I'll go Smudger and Trotty centre halves. Lovey left back.
Yeah.
I'll go. I'll put myself and Fish in the middle.
Uh-huh.
I'll go AD Clark on the left. Right side. Oof.
Trying to think he was on there, right? The only one that stands out for me is Worms. Simon Wormel.
I'll go Worms. I was just going to say, yeah, I'll go Worms and I'll go Carl Alford and I'm going to go Kirk Jackson up top.
Okay. So no place for Daz then. Where's Daz on your bench?
Yeah, I'm going to have Daz on the bench, yeah.
Fair
I can't play him and Carl up top. There's not enough mobility there.
No, that's true, yeah. That's fair enough.
I'm sure he'll forgive me for saying
that. I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll be all right with that. But no, I think we're good actually, Sam. I think that pretty much covers everything there. So just thanks a lot for joining us today, and best of luck with everything that you're doing with your coaching, and just hopefully it all works out for you, mate. Because as much as things might have not gone the way you wanted to under certain managers or on the pitch, you're still loved by the Stevenage fans, and as I said to you earlier, the song is one that stands out and still one of my favourite songs. I think, Jay, you said it's one of your favourite songs as well. So
yeah, definitely.
So cheers, Sam.
Good. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers, Sam. Thanks a lot, my friend.
It's been a pleasure.
Cheers. Thank you very much
For inviting me on. Appreciate it.
See you later, Sam. Take care, mate.
Hope they survive.
Thanks a lot. Cheers, Sam. Thank you, mate.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.